Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we've got a really massive showdown to get into. You've handed us a stack of sources on the MLS Cup 2025 final.
Yeah, Inter Miami versus the Vancouver Whitecaps.
But it's so much more than that, isn't it? Our mission today is to really dig into the history here, the stakes of a match that is, it's centered entirely on two titans, Lionel Messi and Thomas Muller.
Absolutely. It's a story that's been a decade in the making.
We're tracking how their paths, their decades-long international competition has just improbably landed right here on North American soil.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it that way.
And here's the key fact, the thing you have to know before we even start. This is a historical first. Our sources all confirm it. This is the very first time two players who have faced each other in a World Cup final are now going to clash in an MLS Cup decider.
And that's the perfect frame for this. You can't just look at this as an MLS game.
Yeah.
You're watching the culmination of a saga, the emotional weight, the history.
Yeah.
It's just enormous.
Okay, so let's unpack that journey. To really get the stakes in 2025, we have to go back. We have to start at the origin point, the 2014 World Cup final. Maracanã Stadium.
That's the emotional baseline. What made that night so powerful was the contrast. Germany comes in, clinical, methodical. They were expected to win.
And they did.
Yeah.
1-0 in extra time.
Right.
And that night gave us the two images that, for me, really define this whole rivalry. First, you've got Messi collecting the Golden Ball, the trophy for the best player of the tournament.
Yeah, the consolation prize.
The ultimate consolation prize, right?
Yeah.
And he's staring at the World Cup trophy. It's just feet away from him, but he can't touch it. And then you have Muller, 24 years old, celebrating like crazy, already a world champion.
And the narrative coming out of that was just devastatingly clear. Germany was the new dynasty. They were supposed to dominate for years.
And for Messi, the questions were just swirling. Was he cursed on the international stage? Was this the one thing that would, keep him from settling that geo debate for good?
It really seemed like Muller's trajectory was the one to be on, that young German winning machine.
But history, it has a funny way of working things out. The entire script just flipped.
Yeah.
8 years later, Qatar 2022.
A complete narrative reversal. Stark. Messi finally gets it. He gets the one victory that had always eluded him. He conquers that final peak.
And on the other side.
On the other side, Muller and Germany crash out in the group stage. It was the total opposite of Messi's final push. His own international career was sort of fading just as Messi's reached its zenith.
And that shift is so crucial for understanding this final now. Muller watched Messi get that ultimate prize, and now they meet one last time. All of that history, it just adds these psychological layers to the MLS Cup. It's the final collision of these two opposing careers.
It connects everything. And for you listening to this, that history is the key. You have to understand that to appreciate why it's just another game for them. It's a final, highly personal, competitive mandate.
Okay, so enough about the past. How did we get here? How did these two guys end up on opposite sides of the continent? And, more importantly, how did they transform their clubs? Let's start with Messi.
Right, Inter Miami.
Because the narrative when he signed was, this is a victory lap, a retirement plan, he's won everything else.
That was definitely the take from the European media. They saw MLS as, a lower tier league where he could just ride off into the sunset.
But that is not what happened on the ground in Miami. Not
even close. His arrival was like an earthquake. It turned Miami into a global phenomenon overnight.
Every stadium sold out. Not just in Miami, but everywhere they went. TV ratings shot through the roof. It was more than a signing. It was like he activated this global interest in North American soccer.
And the club itself had to evolve with him. By 2025, Miami wasn't just some marketing project anymore. It became a real tactical contender. Our sources show this crucial shift. The club basically had to accelerate its entire sporting development just to keep up with him.
So tell us about that tactical evolution.
Yeah.
What did they actually change to go from a struggling team to a finalist?
Well, it all started with protection. They built a stable defense, sure, but the real key was the midfield pivot.
The two holding midfielders.
Exactly. Their entire job became cleaning up messes in transition, controlling that central part of the field. And what that did was it freed Messi completely from almost any defensive responsibility. That's a luxury he didn't really have in his last years in Paris.
So he just gets to float. He gets to operate where he can do the most damage.
Precisely. And they perfected these patterns, these ways of getting him the ball quickly in those dangerous little pockets between the lines. Messi at 38, he's not beating five guys with sheer pace anymore.
No.
He's more like a surgeon. A tempo setter. His vision dictates everything, and sometimes the most dangerous thing he does is just stand there, because his presence alone pulls 2, 3 defenders out of position.
And we saw that perfectly in the Eastern Conference Final, that 5-1 demolition of New York City. The sources point to his assist for the third goal. It was a perfect example of this evolved role.
Oh, that was a vintage moment. It showed his cognitive speed. He gets the ball deep, and instantly 3 defenders just, yes, they gravitate towards him like magnets, but he doesn't rush. He holds it, draws them in, and then just slides this perfectly weighted pass into the space they just vacated.
It's beautiful.
It is. It shows that while the body ages, the football brain, that's operating at its absolute peak. It's a masterclass in leverage.
All right, now let's pivot to the West, because you have to contrast the global noise of Messi's arrival with Thomas Muller's move. After 17 legendary years at Bayern Munich, he leaves in the summer of 2025 for the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah, if Messi's move was a global fireworks display, Muller's was a quiet, respectful investment. It just didn't get the same fanfare, and a lot of the European press framed it as, the end of an elite career, a quiet retirement.
But the results in Vancouver have been anything but quiet. They finished 9th in the West the year before. Now, with Muller pulling the strings, they're in their first ever MLS Cup final. That's not a quiet ending. That's a hostile takeover of the Western Conference.
It's a quiet revolution, and it's all built around the Raumduder, the space interpreter. That's the Muller factor. It's the same thing that made him a legend. He doesn't need to be fast. He's not flashy at all.
His weapons are different.
His weapons are timing, vision, and anticipation. He sees the game 3 steps ahead.
So he's not the main goal threat anymore. He's the engine.
Exactly. His genius is finding those weird, awkward pockets of space between the defense and the midfield where no one wants to track him. He pops up there, gets the ball, and then immediately connects the younger, faster guys who do have the pace to get in behind. He's the ultimate connector.
And the sources really emphasized this was a deliberate strategy from Vancouver. They bought his experience to elevate their youth.
Oh, absolutely. They didn't ask him to change his game. They built a system that maximizes what he does best. You look at that 3-1 conference final win over San Diego. One of their goals, it comes from Muller just drifting away from the center backs, which pulls a defender with him, and then boom, a quick little no-look flick into the space he just created for a young winger. It's so subtle, but so effective.
And his own words after that game, they really back this up. He said he enjoyed watching Messi play, and that he'd been hoping for a final like this for years. This was always about competition for him.
It validates the whole move. It proves that leaving Bayern wasn't about cashing a check. It was about proving he could still lead a team, still win a major trophy outside of that elite European bubble.
So this is where it gets really interesting. We've set the stage with all that history, but what does winning this specific trophy actually mean for their legacies, for their final chapters? Because for Messi, a win here would cement something just untouchable.
It really would. We are talking about something totally unprecedented. He would complete this career-defining quadrilla of major titles.
The World Cup, the Champions League, the Copa America, and now the MLS Cup.
Right. And how rare is that?
I mean, has anyone ever done that?
It's historically unique. No one has combined those 4.
Right.
Players who win the World Cup and Champions League, they usually spend their entire careers in Europe. For someone to then go to a developing league like MLS and conquer it immediately, it just proves he's a competitor who conquered every single stage he ever stepped on. It silences any doubt.
And for Muller, the stakes are different. It's about validation.
It's pure validation. He has all the European and international trophies. Winning the MLS Cup proves that this move was driven by competition, by a desire to deliver. It tells the world he's not just collecting a paycheck, he's still a champion, a leader who can win anywhere.
He's proving his intelligence translates.
Exactly. That his elite status comes from a football brain, which travels, not just physical gifts, which fade.
And zooming out one more time, this final, it feels like a massive turning point for MLS as a league.
Oh, absolutely. For years, the league has fought that retirement destination label, right? Where the quality wasn't quite there. The stars came for the lifestyle. This match. This provides the proof of concept that changes everything.
A final with 2 World Cup winners in it.
It forces the casual football fan anywhere in the world to tune in. The visibility is off the charts. But more importantly, it proves that North American clubs can build smart, functional, competitive teams around these legends.
And you have two different models for success clashing here, which is fascinating.
It is. You have Miami, who used star power to accelerate their sporting development, building a perfect system around the legend. And then you have Vancouver, who used an experienced champion to elevate a roster that was already young and ambitious. The league is proving it can succeed in multiple ways.
What a journey. I mean, from the Maracanã in 2014 through that incredible reversal in 2022, and all leads here, MLS Cup 2025. This is, without a doubt, the biggest global stage the league has ever had, a fitting final chapter for two giants.
It is. And it leaves you with this profound question for the future of soccer here, Does this final now set a new, higher bar for what we expect when global talent comes to developing leagues?
Okay.
Is the expectation now genuine conquest? Is it about winning titles, about fundamentally raising the competitive level of the entire league, rather than just, retiring and boosting brand visibility?
That expectation, I think, has now been set by these two. You really have to consider what this final means for the future of North American football. This isn't just an end to a season. It feels like the beginning of something profound for the entire league.